You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. There's another story they want to read for you. Students at Syracuse University staged a sit-in yesterday in protest of what they see as growing racial bigotry on campus and the school's slow response to stemming it. About 50 students gathered in the Barnes Center at Archbold Gymnasium to call for a safer campus for students of color, particularly black students. The protests have come after racial slurs were discovered in Day Hall on campus. Students have criticized the administration's response to the incident, calling for more transparency and action. The group compiled a list of 9 demands. They are the expulsion of any students involved in Day Hall vandalism, the creation of a twice-annual open forum for students to communicate directly with the Board of Trustees, curriculum reform to better educate students on questions of diversity, mandatory diversity training for faculty and staff, a zero-tolerance policy for hate speech among students, a same-race option for roommate selection on the student housing application, hiring of additional counselors that better represent student body in marginalized communities, and a $1 million investment in long-term curriculum changes that address issues of diversity and racism. Here is the response from the Chancellor, Kent Savarut.
Excuse me, I've come right from the airport. I understand that various folks are here engaging. I'm eager to hear and have my team work with you on what the latest concerns are, and I appreciate your being here. But I'm concerned about this situation, and I'm concerned about what happened in Day Hall. I have been briefed on the concerns expressed last night. I'm waiting to be briefed much more fully on them as well. Thank you for your work. So I will read them, and I take it the whole team will respond to them as promptly as possible. Good. But I didn't want to delay coming to see you. I was in Washington, D.C. last night. So thank you for sharing this. Please, team, stay here, and it'd be helpful if you could talk through each of these with the students.
Julian, we have seen black students in other campuses stand up in protest. At Missouri, they had a massive protest that was joined by the football team. In fact, that protest had a significant impact on donations, and it caused a steep drop in enrollment at the university as well. Your take on these students using their First Amendment rights to get the attention of the university?
I think that the president's comments were weak. I think that they were not embracing of the students. I think that that's extremely important. As a former college president, I understand that presidents are always sitting between a rock and a hard place. But here's the deal. Too many of these predominantly white institutions have discriminated against young black people, and it basically affects the way that they're going to move through academia and live in the world. The president, I think, should have been far more aggressive, and there should have been some penalties imposed against those racists.
Greg, you're a university professor. Your thoughts on these students? We've seen students at Howard University express their displeasure with things happening on their campus. Your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. Well, young people, you know, this happens. We have cycles of student protests and student takeovers. I mean, you know, at Howard, it's almost a rite of passage. If you don't get through 4 years without some takeover of somebody's building. But in the case of Syracuse, as I was watching that and we were reading it, thinking about, you know, Jim Brown, Ernie Davis. I mean, I think part of the reason that chancellor is there because he does not want a repeat of what happened at Missouri, where you begin to see the cash cows of these big schools, namely the black and brown athletes, these women and men who play basketball in Syracuse's case, decide they're going to join in. But you know, finally, I think it's very interesting to see the fact that our young people are certainly not lacking in courage, not lacking in their ability to speak up and speak out. But what we seem to be suffering from now more than ever is a lack of an intergenerational connection where are the black alumni at Syracuse at this point? And I'm thinking now particularly about brothers who I know will have something to say about this, like Etan Thomas, who is not shy about this at all. When Etan found out about this, he'll have something to say. And Etan was the all-star basketball player for Syracuse, but that might lead to everybody from Donovan McNabb. I'm just thinking about the players at Syracuse who were alumni, and then other alumni, this chance to probably get off that plane and went straight to that protest because he can see past today to what might unfold tomorrow if they don't address these young people's issues.
Now, and Erica, don't forget, and I interviewed a couple of them. There was a group called the Syracuse 8 in 1970. Actually, it was 9 members of their football team walked out of a spring practice to protest racial discrimination on campus. They were called the Syracuse 8, but there were actually 9 players, and they shared their list of, according to the story, had a list of grievances, wanted a more diverse coaching staff as well. And so it's not like Syracuse does not have a history. And it's interesting about this because Syracuse was supposedly to be a racially diverse school, of course, signing Ernie Davis, signing Jim Brown. They were very well known for signing black talent. Ernie Davis went on to become the first black Heisman Trophy winner. But, you know, so there's a history here of black students protesting at Syracuse.
Absolutely, and just listening to Dr. Malveaux and her expertise and listening to Dr. Carr and then reading over the demands that the students have, it is no wonder that attendance for HBCUs are on the rise. And so I say to those students, continue to fight and to stay consistent. And as you talked about and Dr. Carr talked about that intergenerational piece, to really study and look at those individuals. You just did a roll call to look at those individuals and to reach out to an Etan Thomas, to reach out to those folks who are a part of the alumni base for guidance and then for support as well, because this is not just important for the now. This is, as you just said, it is important for down the road. So I really do champion the courage of those students, as Dr. Carr said, but to also that it is, and I believe Angela Davis said this about a week or so ago, is that the beauty of this generation now standing on shoulders is that they can see forward into the future. So they have this ability. So to not discount, don't give that away. Don't allow entertainment and all these other things to really steal away from that, to compartmentalize and to think about those that are to come after you.
You know, the alumni thing is really important.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I want to give people this here. So I'll give you this title, folks. The book is called Leveling the Playing Field, The Story of the Syracuse 8 by David Mark. And so, again, those players were honored by the university in 2006, given their Letterman's jacket because they were kicked off the team. They were allowed to keep their scholarships. 8 of the 9 graduated, but they all lost out on pro careers. As a result of being booted off the team. The university did later find there was widespread racism at the university. They allowed students to wear their hair longer, to wear African garb as well. But again, it'd be very interesting to hear what the Syracuse 8 has to say about these students today. So, Julianne, real quick before I go to my last story.
Alumni are extremely important to the fundraising effort of universities. It's not, I'm happy that Greg and you talked about the intergenerational thing. Folks need to reach out to the alums because there have been a couple colleges where black alums have said, we ain't giving no more money until you deal with these black student issues.
Right.
And that can happen.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, it's the holiday season. This is when you think about spending time with family and friends. This is also when you count your blessings and support those less fortunate. This year, be a holiday hero and change someone's life forever. Right now, hundreds of thousands of Americans are sitting in jail without being convicted of a crime. Why? Because they lack the financial resources to pay their bail. Now think about it. If you are arrested for any minor offense, you will be taken directly to jail. If you don't have bail money, you will stay there until a court date is scheduled. That could be days, weeks, or even months. Simply put, America's bail system is broken for people of color. Freedom should be free. That's why the Ebony Foundation has partnered with the Bail Project and is sponsoring the Home by the Holiday campaign. The Bail Project has helped bail out thousands of people over the years, and with your help, they plan to get 1,000 people out of jail by New Year's Day. And that, of course, would be a great holiday gift for many families. A donation from you today can change someone's life tomorrow. Now that you know the people of color represent upwards of 90% of the jail population across the country. Now, without bail, nearly 90% of those charged with misdemeanors pled guilty. Now, however, with paid bail, less than 2% receive the jail sentence. Sometimes justice needs just us. To join the fight, you can donate $25, $50 or more to help the Ebony Foundation bring our brothers and sisters home by the holiday. To donate, go to homebytheholiday.com. That's homebytheholiday.com. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.